I remember arriving at the hospital and I couldn't walk. I wasn't allowed to.
I had gone out to the bush in the middle of nowhere, and I was so broken and I couldn't see any way out, and so I started to write my suicide note.
I was taken up to the ward, and before I knew it, I had a feeding tube inserted through my nose into my stomach.
I woke up sometime later in the intensive care unit after being placed in an induced coma.
Those first few days in hospital were hell. All the control I thought I had lost.
There were cords and wires everywhere, and my hands were tied down to the beds that I couldn't pull out my breathing tube.
The bone scans, the drips, the heart monitors, as my heart was beating slowly.
I was angry that I didn't succeed. I'd tried to take my life 13 times before, and despite being this close to death this time, I was still alive.
I remember arriving at the psychiatric unit and having my bags checked for cords, pencils, razors, laces.
I eventually got discharged, and then I tried again, and I was admitted into the psych ward this time for a month and a half on intensive suicide watch.
Anything I could hurt myself with. There were people being escorted in by policemen and the constant noise.
My depression and PTSD, it got the better of me. I couldn't see any way out, and I hated myself.
The nights I spent crying because I was scared that someone was out to kill me, and the thought that if I didn't give in to the compulsions that I or someone I loved was going to die.
I pushed away everyone that cared about me, because if I couldn't love myself, then how could anyone else?
Sleeping constantly, because sleeping was the only time I got a break. I would wake up each morning wishing I hadn't.
My mental illness nearly killed me.
But it didn't.
I'm now living a life that I would have never thought possible.
Jazz and I started Voices of Hope because we wanted to see change.
We wanted people to feel less alone and know that they're strong enough to fight through whatever they're going through.
If you told me at 13 years old that I'd be free from my illness someday, I probably wouldn't have believed you.
Recovery from mental illness is possible.
Mental illness is not a life sentence.
We are proof.